Take 3 Wrestling Podcast. We're back. It is Thursday, the 20th of March, 2025. After a much needed week away from the camera, we're back to talk about some professional wrestling. We also may talk death matches if you're into watching some guy get punctured by a spike cord named Spike. On today's show, we will discuss wrapping up our final WrestleMania topic, as we've now drawn that out for about as many days as are left until WrestleMania.
Yes, 30 days from today.
And I feel like we've been doing that topic for about,
longer.
over.
We should reveal one match a week.
We don't have that kind of time, Joe.
I'll see you in 2026.
We'll see you at WrestleMania 42.
So wait, real talk. I have Raw on from Monday. That's what I have on the TV right now, right?
Okay.
John Cena's neck does not look good in HD 4K.
His neck?
His neck specifically.
What's wrong with his neck?
It kind of looks like all of Hulk Hogan. Like it spent way too much time in the sun.
All right.
And like too much tan can be a bad thing.
So you're calling him a redneck?
More like chicken neck? It's giving more than like I slept with my cousin.
See, I'm not getting that.
You're not seeing it?
You're not gay.
Yeah, he just looks like it's just John Cena neck to me.
It's rough.
All right, well, I'll take your word for it.
I will double down on my previous statement.
I'll have to take your word for it, Joe. I will have to take your word for it.
How old is he now? How old is that neck?
47.
Damn.
It's younger than Bryan Danielson's neck.
Yeah, I mean,
But I was right.
Bryan Danielson's neck has aged in dog years. That man's neck is like 90.
I'm actually amazed I was right. John Cena is 47 years old. He turns 48 in April. Look at me and my functioning brain.
3 short days after he wins championship number 17.
You're fucking right. Well, actually, probably it'd be 2 days because he'll be on WrestleMania Sunday.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Look at that. What a great 48th birthday present.
Here's the record. Fuck
Jesus,
you, Ric
John
Flair.
Cena's only fucking 8 years older than me. Christ.
He's going to win the title, and then he's just going to turn around and say, fuck you, Ric Flair.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. God damn it.
I, for one, can't wait for 30 years from now when John Cena's last match featuring Jeff Jarrett happens.
Ugh.
God, that sounds terrible. I got to make sure I add the new sounds to our board.
After seeing what Conrad Thompson wrote about the potential chance of them asking AEW for Sting to induct Lex Luger into the Hall of Fame,
You have to, man.
I'm out on Jeff Jarrett being involved in anybody else's last match. I love Jeff to death, but
they fucking have to, right? Like you have to get Sting has to be the guy to induct Lex.
I mean, you have to at least make every effort humanly possible to do it.
The best part is if he doesn't, if WWE's making the effort, then Tony's the asshole. That's the best part of this. Like Tony gets to be like Tony Khan's transformation into like Vince McMahon minus like the really like bad outside of wrestling stuff has been a fascinating journey and will be continued to be one.
It happened so quickly too.
It sure fucking did. It sure did.
Do you think it was benefited by the disappearance of Vince? Like, if Triple H doesn't take over when he takes over, does Tony Khan still become the villain as quickly?
That's actually a great question that I'm not sure the answer to, but I actually think it helps because like probably about 3 to 4 weeks into the Triple H era, I said this was the worst thing that could have happened to Tony Khan and AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the problems with WWE in terms of continuity, scripts being written up, any of those sort of things were gone. And week to week to week, you were getting cohesive programming with consistent booking and this and that. And you're like, oh no, like I just remember that going, man, this is the worst thing because now all of those things, because I don't think AEW is doing a lot differently than they ever used to. Because AEW, and we've talked about it here, is like the dream match company.
Yeah,
like, let's just see what cool matches I can put on our show this week. Now, granted, they've gotten good at telling some stories too, but they still do a lot of like, let's see what cool matches we can do, and let's like play with new toys and this, that, and the other. And it seemed really neat when WWE was giving you like Omos versus the Great Khali for the 40th time.
So, Dave Meltzer.
Now it's just you're like, oh wow, AEW just doesn't have any structure there. But anyway, sorry, Mike.
While trying to find the Conrad tweet, I found what Dave Meltzer said about the potential of Sting inducting Lex Luger into the Hall of Fame. He says that he would not allow Sting if he was Tony Khan.
Well, Conrad's an idiot.
No. Meltzer. agreed.
Oh, he's a bigger idiot. It's okay.
Oh yeah. Speaking of idiot,
they did that with Billy Gunn. That turned out really well. I wouldn't do it. The situation's changed. You can play the good guy all you want when the other side is taking cheap shots at you and slapping you around. If the thing happened with Billy Gunn and it went differently, maybe I would, but probably not. Not in this day and age. Stupid. If Luger went into the Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, then I would have absolutely no problem. Absolutely none. But when it comes to the WWE Hall of Fame on a WWE broadcast, you can look at it like doing Luger a favor rather than WWE, but that's the weakness that they're counting on. How many guys from WWE under contract were allowed to do Sting's retirement show? 0. So why should you reciprocate? If Luger wasn't allowed to do Sting's show, that's my argument. First off, Lex Luger's a fucking man who's could do whatever the fuck he wanted. He wasn't signed to a Legends contract at that point, was he?
I was gonna say, I mean, even if he was signed to a Legends contract, who's to say that AEW reached out? I never read any. Like, there were no reports of AEW tried to get so and so to be on the show, and WWE said no.
This is how it ended. I do not see any reason why Tony should be cooperative other than it's a business deal and they make a business deal. If you want to go in there and make a business deal and say, you know, we'll plug All In during our show, maybe I'd consider it at this point.
First off, no, you're not getting an All In plug for during Lex Luger's Hall of Fame like inductor speech. Like, get the fuck out of here.
If you wanted to announce him as AEW legend and WWE Hall of Famer Sting,
right? Sure.
Okay.
That's as far as I would go. And if I'm WWE, I would do that.
Sure.
The thing that bothers me, I hate to be the person to talk crap about Meltzer, but it's when he shares opinions like that just don't make logical sense. Like, I'm not even going to sit here and be like, oh, it's dumb. It literally doesn't make sense. Like what does AEW lose by allowing Sting, who's not even on their show anymore? Like, it's not like they're out here asking for Jon Moxley to show up during the Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins match. You know, they're asking for Sting, who's been retired from AEW for the past year now, to show up and induct his friend into the Hall of Fame. Like, they're not even asking for Sting to show up at WrestleMania. They're asking for him to show up at this niche event during WrestleMania weekend and do something really cool for someone that actually matters a lot to him and vice versa.
Yeah.
I
Again,
know
it makes
there's gonna
Tony
be
look
a
like the asshole. Like
retarded glare on my screen right now, but
No,
I'm
I see it.
I'm showing the text that says, "Oh, what a night! Stinger went out in style with Lex Luger in the building."
yeah, dude, like
For
those
Sting's
two
last
are
match.
eternally connected to each other. Like
So Dave Meltzer just has no fucking idea what he's talking about.
there's also a reason Dave Meltzer wears like fucking skin tight acid wash jeans and stays in an office that has more paper in it than a fucking paper plant.
I mean, I will say they did not allow him to appear on the show.
I like that. I like that you call Dave Meltzer both a hoarder and a gay person all in one sentence.
I'm good like that.
Yeah, no, that's just stupid. There's no part about any of that that's not dumb.
So if it's not Sting, it's gonna be Cody or Diamond Dallas Page?
I mean,
Probably DDP.
I was gonna say I think Dallas is probably the next name.
If you were if it wasn't Sting and we were going for someone based on Lex's career in ring, who would you go with? Because DDP and him didn't exactly have a lot of like in ring stuff.
The problem, and I hate saying it, but there's a lot of people that aren't here to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really kind of the sad part. He worked with Ron Simmons quite a bit, right?
I'm pretty sure Simmons beat him for his first world title.
So that may be an option.
Barry Windham sounds like a good name.
Yeah, I don't hate that. What about like
the,
Arn Anderson? Isn't he in WWE land?
He is.
I mean, Flair. God, do you really want to dig out the?
Flair might be under AEW contract.
I still think he's under contract.
Probably.
If they're not going to let Sting, they're not going to let Flair.
And you're not going to bring out Hogan because you're not going to have somebody get fucking booed off the stage at the Hall of Fame. Goldberg.
You know, the sad thing too is though Hogan could make sense because Luger beat Hogan for the WCW title, like in the middle of the NWO run.
I would rather see the guy that he tied in the Royal Rumble with than fucking Hulk Hogan introduce him in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, there's no way it's Hogan.
I would rather it be Brett. I'd rather it be.
Can you imagine like everybody in fucking black tie event and fucking Hulk Hogan getting, because they have that they're selling that like VIP package where fans.
Yeah, the Hulk Hogan one.
Front? No, that's for WrestleMania. This is at the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
They're doing like a special section for fans where you can buy like to get up close to the Hall of Fame. They'd fucking boo Hulk Hogan off the stage. It'd be hilarious, but they're not gonna let that happen. Yeah, like Brett could do it. Goldberg could do it.
Can Brett and Goldberg do it together?
No.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Just get the two of them on stage together.
Honestly, another dark horse, Eric Bischoff.
I don't hate that.
That'd actually probably be a good one.
Bischoff's probably a dark horse.
Bischoff would be a great speech too.
I think
Bischoff though is a good speech. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, Mike. Before we get into the Mania topics and stuff, I want to look at potential some moves in the fantasy. Do you have the
I do have it accessible. Hold on, let me open up the spreadsheet real quick.
And if where we're at points wise.
Here. I gotta open up the right thing. Docs. All right, so I am still currently leading the way. Good luck, nerds. I have 130 points. Joe has 111. Jim's got 80.
Jesus.
Wow, I'm doing better than I thought.
Getting torched over here.
I am, dude. Because again, I think part of my problem is I pick too many guys that aren't wrestling on a weekly basis.
I would have said that too, but then Joe still has a roster that's got Logan and
Roman Reigns wrestles one match every 6 months.
But he wins that one match.
I mean, he's got okay.
We also have Joe Hendry, who's wrestled 1,000 times.
That's what I'm going to say. Joe's gotten the bailout of having the most active world champion in any company known to man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Just say his name.
All right. So again, for those of you following along at home, my roster currently sits Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Tiffany Stratton, Shelton Benjamin, Konosuke Takeshita, Will Ospreay, Obafemi, Stephanie Vacour, Tony Storm, and Matt Hardy. Jim's is Gunther, Punk, Gulia, Adam Copeland, Mariah May, Bobby Lashley, Bianca Belair, LA Knight, Mercedes Moné, and Hangman Adam Page. Joe's is Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso, Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Kazuchika Okada, Joe Hendry, Logan Paul, Alexa Bliss, and Penta Jr.
All right. Yeah, I have a couple of moves I think I want to make here.
All right. I'll let you go first since you are
Thank you.
Currently trailing.
I'm going to drop Cope.
Ooh, see you later, Cope.
And I'm going to pick up Masha Slamovich.
Who are you going to move into the AEW spot?
Let's move Mercedes into that.
All right, Monet talks. You picked up Masha Slamovich. Joe, do you have anybody you want to add or drop?
No, I'm gonna let my team ride.
All right. I'm gonna drop Matt Hardy. I'm gonna pick up Lyra Valkyria.
Okay.
She's defending the title this week. I might as well try to get some points out of her.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm watching this Penta.
Is she actually defending on Monday? Did that confirm?
She is scheduled to defend against Raquel Rodriguez.
Ooh. Then I'm going to drop Gunther and give me Raquel because I actually think we're going to see a title change.
So I'm watching this Penta and Ludwig Kaiser match from Raw, and I obviously have it on mute. And I feel like it's one of the better matches I've ever watched on mute because you can tell it's really, really good without hearing the crowd even remotely.
Yeah, it was good. That Brussels crowd was really good, though. Like these European Raws the next couple of weeks are going to be a lot of fun.
I love that you could watch it live.
Yeah, I turned it on while I was working.
That's a game changer for Netflix.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like I turned it on and like I have my earbud in while I'm working, and like so I can't sit and watch the whole thing, but I can listen to it while I'm working.
Yeah, it's cool. There's no like spoilers before it airs. You know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock my roster for this week. There's some other moves, but I think I'm gonna wait a week to make those.
All right. Then I'm gonna make a couple of more here. I would like to drop CM Punk and pick up Penta.
Nope, can't. Joe's got Penta.
Oh, you motherfucker. Okay. Then I will still drop CM Punk and I will pick up Sol Ruka.
Okay.
And I think I want to make an AEW move. Let me take a quick look here. Let's drop Mariah May and pick up Powerhouse Hobbs. And then I'm good. I'm locking in.
Okay.
Penta kind of looks like a frog.
Hey, Jim.
Yo.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert, okay? Help you get back in this thing. Start looking at the Collision tapings after what happens on Dynamite and pick up guys that win matches.
Oh, is that a thing? All right.
They filmed two. They filmed Saturday and Sunday because they're showing them after the basketball. And I genuinely looked and like Daniel Garcia goes to a time limit draw with Adam Cole, so you would have gotten some points for retainment. Like the 6-man tag titles, they defend them.
Gotcha.
Like just easy cheap points.
Gotcha. I'll lock that in though.
All right. Let's get to the WrestleMania.
Jim's the Cowboys fan. He doesn't believe in easy points.
God, that's so fucking true. Allegedly,
He's a Jets fan.
No, I'm a Bills fan now. Thank you.
No, you're not. You can't root for anybody in the same division. There's a rule.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Oh, I get when you're a Jets fan, you're allowed to give up.
Nope.
Well, yeah, you're allowed to give up. Like, I would consider myself probably more of a Chargers fan at this point. But like, I can't.
You can't root for the Commanders.
Like, oh, I'm giving up. I'm going to go root for the Commanders. Like, you can't.
That'd be like me being like, nope, I'm going to go root for Lamar Jackson. Pass.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with breaking the rules. Go Josh Allen.
Man, that's.
I hope that he gets a hangnail. Like, I don't want to root for anything like malicious or dangerous, but like,
no, but a hangnail is great because like he's not going to be able to perform properly with a hangnail. I think that's a brilliant call.
Thank you.
Well played.
This hangnail presented by Orange Cream Coca-Cola.
Oh, look at that.
All right, so we have narrowed down the matches.
This is my favorite comment we've had so far. As a barber, I love this show. It has every stage of beard growth.
That's fantastic.
That is my fucking favorite comment that I've ever seen since we've started going live.
It makes me happy that my barber got stuck in the Dominican Republic and had to move my appointment from this morning till tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Otherwise, I'd have a much shorter beard right now.
That's
great.
I love that so much. Thank you for that comment. That is wonderful.
That's fantastic. All right, so do we want to make any changes before we do this? Because I know we're supposed to.
Is there anything that's become real that we ignored, or vice versa?
Well, the 4 matches that have been announced are the same 4 matches that we had set in stone.
Okay.
I would say that I don't think we're getting Logan Paul versus AJ Styles anymore.
Why?
You don't think?
I think you have a better shot of getting AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross than you do Logan Paul.
No, they want Logan Paul on the show.
Yeah.
Sure, put him somewhere else.
See, I still think we're getting Logan Paul because they asked AJ Styles about Logan Paul, I believe, on the show.
Well, I mean, it would help if I watched more than just the John Cena promo.
Yeah. Like they even asked him about it, and then like he got kind of interrupted by Karrion Kross. Like I think Karrion Kross will get involved somehow in some fashion with the match or potentially Raw after Mania, but I do think we're still getting that match at Mania itself. Well, the U.S. title we have to tweak a little bit because since we were here, LA Knight is once again your U.S. champion.
Do we just want to take Shinsuke out of the match?
Yes,
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I feel like the rumors of him either retiring and or being contract finished with WWE may be actually a thing.
So we have Jacob Fatu, Jim Uso, Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight.
Yeah, I like that. And then everything else. I mean, I would keep the WWE tag title match. The title holder changed hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other thing that I would probably switch here is I feel like we are just straight up Braun versus Penta for the IC.
Take Sheamus and Kaiser roll out.
Yeah, I think because again, you miss it, Joe. I might spoiler a little bit here, depending on where you're at in that match. But like post match,
I saw a tweet of the closing segment of the show as well.
Yeah, like we get at the end of the show, we get a stare down between Penta and Braun Breaker. So like I feel like
really?
Yeah, I think we're straight up in that. But otherwise, I think our matches themselves are fine.
Do we want to tweak the women's U.S. title match any? Or no, we took that off the show altogether. Never mind.
Yeah, we moved that off the show, and we moved the world tag off the show.
Okay. All right. So obviously the night 1 main event, Cody versus Cena. Lock that in with
You said night 1?
No, night 2.
Oh, okay. I thought you said night 1.
I think you might have, but yeah, that's definitely a night.
That's a night 2 main event. Yeah,
one of the nights. Lud night. I guess let's lock the 4 guaranteed matches that are going to happen, and then we can kind of fill the card out from there. Gunther versus Jey Uso.
So I have that as my Saturday main event.
I hate to say it. I hate to be that guy. I don't think that's closing either of the show nights.
I mean, so here's the thing. I think it's either going to open or close night 1.
I think it's opening either night. I don't know that I'm tied to night 1 or night 2, but I think that's going to open one of the nights.
Yeah, I just think you're going to, even though they didn't do it last year, they had both men's world titles competed on Sunday. I think you're going to keep those separate this year. So yeah, I'd be fine putting that as the Saturday opener. I don't know how you feel about it, Mike.
Well, what do you have as the main event then, Joe? Let's
for night 1.
Yes,
Roman, Seth, Punk.
Ooh.
Roman Reigns main events WrestleManias. Roman hasn't not competed in the main event of WrestleMania if he's been on WrestleMania since like fucking hell. Even that Undertaker match was the last one to go on.
When was the last time he didn't main event?
I honestly could it'd have to be like 34.
That's actually it's a really good point.
WrestleMania pandemic.
But he wasn't on that one.
He didn't main event it. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm saying like anyone that he's been on since at least like 35. Yeah. He's been in the main event.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe bold strategy here. Maybe it's time for a change.
Yeah, because like I actually had that match third to last on Sunday.
So let's see. Since WrestleMania 31. We'll go back to 31. It was the heist of the century.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H versus Roman. The shit Undertaker match. Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. They did not close WrestleMania 35. That was the triple threat match for the women's title.
Right.
He was not on 36 because of the pandemic. 37 was smash, stack, pin him, mega blast him. The winner take all match from AT&T against Brock. Cody Rhodes.
Really, last year there's a tag match night 1, and then there's he main evented twice last year.
So it was Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre at 35 was the last time he didn't main event a WrestleMania.
And that probably, if we're being honest, had more to do with the fact that they wanted to get the women into the main event than it did anything else.
Yeah.
I don't think that Drew McIntyre match would have closed the show even if they didn't want to have the women do it.
No, just and everything after that minus Finn Balor versus Bob Lashley, and that's kind of your that and the fucking Kurt Angle retirement.
I have to tinkle.
Those were tinkle matches.
Yeah.
Wow, fucking 16 matches on WrestleMania 35.
I mean, okay, so here's the deal. Me personally, from a storyline perspective, while Roman Reigns has not been in the main event, I think Jey Uso deserves the main event spot this year more than Roman does.
I don't disagree about deserving. I also just realistically, even aside from the Roman seems to just main event WrestleManias, isn't the video aren't this week's video of Jey Uso squashing the hotter half of A-Town Down Under got 61,000 dislikes on YouTube or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, because nobody gives a shit about Austin Theory.
Yeah, but what it looks like is nobody gives a shit about Jey Uso.
Merchandise says otherwise.
And I agree. But I don't know that that's the thing that gets him into the main event. Also, too, for years, WWE has argued that the opening matches are just as important as the closing ones. So their argument's going to be, of course he was in the main event. He wrestled for the world title at WrestleMania. I could hear Bruce Pritchard saying these words in 10 years.
I could also hear the fact that this could end horrifically badly if this gives the Dane O'Brien vibes all over again. An 8-second match. Oh, they opened the show. They didn't care. I had to sit through another Roman Reigns match in the main event. Because like Jim said, we're 30 days out, and what has Roman Reigns done? He speared CM Punk and he beat the shit out of Seth Rollins.
I don't know. I just, being realistic in the way WWE books things, I think Jey Uso's opening one of these shows.
Well, and let's so like we also have to remember that like WWE uses the term main event to mean more than just the last match on the card. So like that's why for me, Jay versus Gunther either opens or closes WrestleMania Saturday. Because you're either your first shot of the night is going to be Jey Uso coming through the crowd, 70,000 people yeeting in Las Vegas, or your closing shot of night one is going to be Jey Uso with the world title and 70,000 people are yeeting. Like,
so wait, I got. Let's throw a wild card out here. Is this the year where we finally get the women back in the main event? Because
that was so. Currently,
like if there was a year where you were going to do it, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair versus Io Sky sounds like the match you could do it with.
So that was the other thing for me. Like I had that match opening WrestleMania Saturday. To me, if we're putting Jey versus Gunther on first, that's the match I would flip to last.
I think the other women's match should main event more.
Oh, see, I get it because it's Charlotte, but I will ask you this: are you having Charlotte win?
No.
Then to me, and this is like I understand your logic, but because I don't think the match is going to be as good, like I think unfortunately that's probably a 10-11 minute match, and I don't think WWE is going to put the women on in a shorter match in the last match of the night spot. Personally, like I get Tiffany beating Charlotte is big, but especially because she's the incoming champion. If it was Tiffany winning the title for the first time off of Charlotte, I would probably be more receptive to it. But like I said, I have Gunther versus Jey locked in like as my main event for Saturday. Because I feel like WrestleMania, I feel like the way I mapped out the shows is WWE is avoiding the problem of some of the previous two night manias where night two looked weaker than night one. And this is no offense to Jey Uso and Gunther and anybody else I have on the card, but like my night one is definitely a quote unquote lighter card than my night two.
Okay, so I guess formally, where are we putting Jey and Gunther? Or Jim, you're at
I mean, I have
main
it
event.
like,
Joe's at open night one. So
yeah.
It comes down to wherever the hell I want to put it. Then
I mean, I think like
as
we can
the
discuss
tiebreaker,
all we want until we're blue in the face. But if we're just going to put votes, then I guess we'll have to do a majority rules.
I'm just asking because it feels like we could be at a stalemate when it comes to that.
Yeah, so I think majority rules on a vote. I mean, there's three of us.
Well, I definitely don't think it's going to open night two because I don't think you're putting both men's titles on Sunday. I'm going to say there's no bigger moment than closing a show with a guy like you just made the argument, I guess, for winning his first world title.
And we've been calling him main event Jey Uso over the last 2 years, so now's as good of a time as any to either some people right, or prove other people right. You know,
it's kind of my thought process. So those are the two main events: Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley.
where do you have that, Joe? The Io, Rhea, Bianca. Where do you have that?
Oh, wherever. Probably night one somewhere. I don't know that I'd open the show with that, to be honest. So I guess somewhere just in the middle.
I mean, I have it as my opener. Because like I WWE does like to kick things off, and unfortunately, a women's world title has seemed to kind of settle into that spot. The last couple of years, so that they haven't been actually closing any of the shows, because we saw it last year. It opened up Saturday, so I have it as my opener. I don't know where you have it, Mike.
I had it in the 3 spot because of what I have opening night one.
What do you have opening night one?
Roman, Seth, Phil.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't hate that either. I mean, yeah, if we want to put the women's title somewhere in the middle, I think that's fine as well.
All right, so I'll lock it into the 3 spot for now. We can move it around if we need to. All right. Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton.
So that I have as my 4th match on Sunday.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like, I feel like that for my Sunday, and we'll get where the matches are. But like Sunday, it like starts hot, cools down a little, then that starts a 2-match heater, before we settle down before the main.
All right, let's address the big one: Roman, Phil, Seth.
So that one I had as my 3rd to last on Sunday. So like I'm thinking of it as, you know, if each card has kind of a double main event, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of going the old like WWE mindset of like, give me a main event, something to bridge the gap, and then your other main event. So you really just kind of hard bookend the weekend at the end. So I have Roman, Seth, and Punk 3rd to last on Sunday.
I don't hate it.
So what do you have between that and Cody Cena?
The women's tag titles.
Okay.
Like, unfortunate. It's unfortunate that match just becomes everybody's going to go stretch their leg before the pomp and circumstance of what's going to be this world WWE title, but it's the reality.
What match was on right before before Cody and Roman last year?
Bayley versus Io Sky for the women's title.
Yeah. Okay.
And night one was Sammy and Gunther for the IC title, led into the Bloodline Rules tag match.
That's fucking insane. And I get, like, there's a lot of in-betweener stuff where they do videos, and
it also helped that the Bloodline Rules match went 45 minutes.
Holy fuck, it was so long.
Well, see, like, so that's why part of me is like, I'm not against the idea of a 1-2 punch where you do the 3-way right before doing Cena Cody.
I mean, I don't necessarily hate it either, especially because,
like you said, there's going to be a half hour worth of breathing room just in vignettes and commercials alone.
And like
Travis Scott will perform a song or some shit. Like,
and we got to remember, like, when you go back to the first time WWE did Mania in Vegas or any of the Western shows, you're only getting a couple of matches where, and I get it's a dome, but it's still kind of like a translucent dome. So like you're only getting a couple of matches where you're actually going to like truly have like nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe I think in Joe's mindset too, there, that match should be at Nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to make it the co-main event for night 2?
Yeah, I'm fine
That's
with
where
that.
I'd argue it belongs.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Okay, let's go Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens.
That feels like a night 1 kind of match.
I have it as my night 2 opener. I feel like Kevin Owens thrives in a open a pay-per-view match. Like when that music hits, when Randy's music, and it's going to be a fucking banger.
I don't hate it. Randy Orton's opened a lot of WrestleManias.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. With the way that we've done this now, there aren't a lot of opening of a show matches left. I feel like KO and Randy in one of the opening spots makes a ton of sense.
Sure.
Night 1 or night 2?
Night 2.
Yeah, I have it as night 2, but
Works for me.
sweet.
AJ Styles, Logan Paul.
I don't know. When do you feel like you most need to take a piss?
In between the first and third match of night 1, because it'll be whatever starts the show leading into the triple threat match for the women's title.
Because I feel like that match, and I love me some AJ Styles, and I know Logan Paul's going to do some cool shit, but that match feels like the epitome of, as long as I make it back in time for the replay and the highlights of the really cool spot, I'm okay.
A complete sidebar, because this is bringing up AJ Styles. WWE's been dumping some WWE 24 episodes, which you can get on Peacock, on their YouTube. So they just ended up in my algorithm. I recently watched like the debut of AJ Styles WWE 24 when he like led up to his debut at the Rumble, and then I also just watched the R-Truth one. Both are fantastic, by the way. If you've never watched those episodes 24, do yourself a favor. Yeah, I have Styles Logan Paul as like my third to last. On
Remember that time AJ Styles took a dump on your toilet?
Yes, actually, I do. He stayed in my house. But I have it as third to last. But yeah, I kind of do see, as we're starting to shape things up differently than I have mine, I think a little bit earlier in the card probably does make sense.
I'll go for the match that I have opening night 1 in my brain right now. We talked about how it looks like it's going to be a one-on-one match. Give me Braun Breaker versus Penta.
I think that's a hot start. I especially because I do think Penta's winning. And I think having that as a moment to open the show, and I also think it helps remind people that the quote unquote mid-card titles are important.
I love that, actually.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot. I think that's a great. Can you imagine the first actual superstar coming out is fucking Penta? Like that's a fun way to start a pay-per-view, man.
It's a great way to also say "fuck you, Tony" if Sting isn't allowed to introduce Lex Luger.
Let's be honest, that's a fun way to say "fuck you, Tony" either way.
Fuck you, Tony.
Because this is a guy look, I don't know what happened there, but this is a guy that should have been one of your fucking staples in AEW. The fact that he is in WWE and the first night he was in WWE felt bigger than he ever did and more important than he ever did in AEW. That's a fumble, man. That's a fumble.
Fumble.
Fumblerooski.
Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Still think that belongs on Friday night on SmackDown.
Would you rather add Chelsea Green versus Piper Niven or the War Raiders versus the Creed brothers back to the show instead? No. Because I think Jade Cargill having a WrestleMania moment greater than any of those people
especially
that I mentioned.
You made it a part of the Elimination Chamber. That made it a Mania match over Chelsea and Piper. Or whoever Chelsea's actually going to wrestle.
Zelina
At
Vega.
this point, 30 days out, I don't think it's Piper Niven.
Zelina Vega.
Yeah. I have Jade and Naomi in the middle of my Saturday.
Where did we end up with the women's triple threat?
Third match, night 1.
See, I don't feel like that makes sense because I feel like Jade and Naomi is going to happen before that match. And I don't know that you go back-to-back women's matches. Because I could see Jade and Naomi as like the second match on night 1. But you're not following that right away with the women's title match. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so do you want to move Io, Bianca, and Rhea down the card?
Do we have a match for like second to last on night 1?
We have 4, 5, and 6 open.
I would put that second to last. I'd put that co-main event on night 1, and then you'd put like Naomi and Jade at the second match.
I love that
I'm
both.
actually cool with that.
I love that both of our co-main events are triple threat matches.
Hell yeah, consistency.
Tapioca pudding. So Jade Cargill and Naomi in that spot, the number 3 match.
I like that.
All right.
Even on my card, I had that because like I had the women's triple threat opening.
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Joe because like then I feel like the winner of that match or however that plays out could potentially throw some shade towards towards the triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
Or magically Jade Cargill finds out and takes Bianca Belair out of that match and
Or something. There can be. There's more story to tell having that match first.
yeah.
Cool.
Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest.
I have that like third. I have that third on Sunday. On my card, it's just going to be a match that gets you between two bigger match, and like it's kind of a bummer for Drew McIntyre. But it's kind of the reality. Like it's going to be like a 9-minute slap the shit out of each other, go home, brother, sort of a deal.
Let's go home, brother. I'm okay in that spot.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. As I have the hiccups.
So hold on. I need to map it. So we have 7 matches each night, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, let me just do something here. So I should have been doing this the whole time just to kind of get a perspective of where we are.
Night 1, we have Braun and Penta, AJ Styles, Logan Paul.
So wait, so Braun and Penta are the opener.
Yep.
Where's AJ Styles and Logan
2.
Paul?
It's number 2.
Okay.
Number 3 is Jade versus Naomi.
Okay.
The 4 and the 5 are open.
Okay.
The 6 is the triple threat. Main event is Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Okay.
And then on night 2, we're opening with KO versus Randy. The 2 spot is open.
Okay.
Drew versus Damian Priest. Charlotte versus Tiffy.
He's in the 4.
Yep. The 5 is open. The men's triple threat, Cody Cena.
Got it. Thank you. So I'm like crossing my matches off, but I'm not reorganizing them on my own sheet, and I'm forgetting where things are going.
So the 4 matches that we have left, we have 2 women's matches and 2 men's matches left.
Okay.
I'm saying that because we already have 2 women's matches on night 1. I think we need to be strategic about not loading up the 2 women's matches on one of the nights. I think we have to split them.
Yeah, we do have to split them for sure.
Wait.
Yes.
Yeah, so like the 2 women's matches should both be on night 2 then.
Well, no, because we already have Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton.
So one of these nights is yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We get
One night's gonna have 3 women's matches, which is why I really doubt that ends up happening. But yeah,
Probably, but we're doing it. Even if Triple H doesn't have the nuts to do it, we're gonna fucking do it.
I gave you the option to put the War Raiders back on.
Nobody wants that.
Well, according to sources, nobody wants 5 women's matches on the show either, but here we are.
I didn't say nobody. I said
I
that
think-
misogynist Triple H.
I say, unfortunately, I think Triple H probably doesn't. But anyway, let's press on.
Triple
WWE
H likes women so much he once dated a man named China.
Jesus Christ. Okay, just gonna. The views, comments made by Joe do not reflect Mike Jim or the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast.
Which is how many inches her. Okay, anyway.
Oh, come on. Come on now. You can't be saying that.
It's scientific facts.
You can't
China.
say that. You can't. All right.
women's tag titles: Liv and Raquel versus the Kabukis versus Pure Fusion Collective versus K Squared.
That has a 7-minute window as match number 2 on night 2 written all over it.
Agreed.
Yep. Works
I
perfect.
mean, it's sad, but
No, I'm not even mad at it because I think they go out and have the 7 best minutes of like imaginable.
I mean, I'd only need 7 minutes,
You'd only need 7 seconds.
probably.
Okay, now
The harder they come.
I love Tony Storm.
She's so good. That's not even my favorite drop from last night.
My God, you're a big bitch.
That's so good.
Perfect.
So good. So before we continue, that means that the other women's match, Lyra Valkyria, Bailey, Roxanne Perez, Ivy Nile, will be on night 1. We probably need to move AJ Styles and Logan Paul with Jade Cargill and Naomi.
Yep, give them a
Because you're not going to go back to back to back to back.
No, you're not. So yeah, let's give those a flippy floppy.
All right, so Jade and Naomi, AJ, and Logan. So do we want to put the women's match after that? Is that what we're going with?
Women's IC. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So now we have the final 2 matches. We have the tag title triple threat, DIY Street Profits and Pretty Deadly, and the U.S. title of Jakob Fatu, Jim Uso, Carmelo Hayes, and La Knight.
Okay.
Where do we put the women's tag titles?
The 2 spot of night 2.
And
So
I feel like the men's tag titles belong on night 1.
That's a good point. But so here's my only. Okay, well they're both multi-person matches.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree with Joe. I think we should put the tag titles into that 5 spot on night 1 then.
Okay.
Did you notice how Seth Rollins is wearing green and black and his Titantron was green and black?
Did I text you guys that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
so
like it's now that you said it, it was like glass.
I'm never going to be able to
moment.
unsee it. And I even went back because I saw it on Instagram that somebody pointed it out. And then Monday when he came out, he was in green and his Tron was in green. I went,
Yep.
like fucking hell. So then I looked back and like on the I think it was on one of the recent pay-per-views when he was wearing all different colors. There was all different colors in his Tron. I looked back on an episode of Raw like 3 weeks ago. He came out with a red suit on and his Tron was red. I'm like, motherfucker. The fact that I never picked up on that actually makes me upset because like that's something that I would actually pick up on.
So our official WrestleMania card right now, night 1, opening with Braun versus Penta for the IC title, Jade versus Naomi, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, the women's IC title fatal 4-way, the WWE tag, Io, Bianca, and Rhea, and then Jey Uso versus Gunther. Night 2, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, the women's tag title, Drew versus Damian Priest, Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton, the U.S. title match between the fatal 4-way with Fatu, Uso, Hayes, and Knight, Roman, Seth, and Phil, and then the main event, Cody versus John Cena. What I will say real quick before we move on away from WrestleMania, let's go around. Each of us pick a match that we think comes off the show and what we think could replace it.
So I think that probably the women's Is it going to be the women's IC or the women's tag? Unfortunately, I'm probably going to say the women's IC title comes off, and the match that would replace it is going to be Solo versus Jacob.
So Jacob would then not be involved in the U.S. title match.
Yeah. Then he would get popped off of that, and because I think the way it seems like it might be trending is LaKnight versus Jim Uso, just straight up. In reality, but yeah, if there's a match that's going to come off, it's probably going to be a women's, because at this point, I don't think Roxanne Perez or Ivy Niles actually going to be in the conversation. So then it's going to be Lyra versus Bailey, and that kind of has Raw After Mania written on it. As sad as that may be,
makes sense. I agree. I think it would be probably that match, because I do think they get the tag team titles on there, because I don't think you live in a world where Liv Morgan is not on WrestleMania, especially after the year that she's had. So I'll say that the tag titles stay on. I don't necessarily know that I think that there's a match that makes a ton of sense to take its place. Like, I want to say that putting Sami Zayn on this show in some way, shape, or form makes a lot of sense, but with the injury and the quote unquote injury from the match with Kevin at Elimination Chamber, it's like, does it make sense? So, that being said, I don't know. I don't necessarily know that there's a lot cooking outside of that stuff. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything that makes any kind of sense.
I'd say so. While there's still the very strong part of me that thinks that Naomi and Jade's gonna end up on SmackDown before WrestleMania.
What makes you think that that's the match that gets cut?
I just feel like because they're gonna focus so much attention on Bianca and the title match, and that's gonna represent that storyline, and you're probably gonna get Jade or Naomi involved in that. I just feel like they're gonna use that match as build towards that women's title match instead. Because
so we're wasting
a lot to Naomi versus Jade.
So we're wasting Io Sky and Rhea Ripley then in that part.
No, I don't think that's wasting them.
If Jade Cargill and Naomi get involved in that match, I feel like you're not giving the other two women their ability to go out there and have a match on the WrestleMania stage.
I mean, I guess I see your point, but I just feel like once they involved Bianca Belair into that match and brought Jade back, you have what you have. You know what I mean? Like, that's the story that she's involved in.
Sure, but they could also, because the way that they've kind of distanced Bianca for the match is that Bianca let Jade Cargill go whoop Naomi's ass. Like that Bianca doesn't have anything to do with it. So that's like, to me, I think my thought process here is Jade Cargill needs the WrestleMania moment more than anybody in the tag match not named Liv Morgan or anybody that we had involved in the women's U.S. title match. I think Jade Cargill getting that moment over Bailey, Roxanne Perez, Lyra Valkyria, I think is needed more for the Jade Cargill character than any of those other characters.
And I think the thing for me, like, if I'm looking at it and I'm like, I know like the potential that Jade Cargill has and all of that. But if I'm like a casual tune in to like Royal Rumble, like Road to WrestleMania season, basically, and I see like this Jade Cargill come back at Elimination Chamber, and the place goes fucking banana, and she mollywops Naomi in the cage and just beats the holy piss out of her. And then we get to WrestleMania, and I haven't really tuned into SmackDown because I like to go out on Friday nights and whatnot. So I'm not really tuning in. So then I get to WrestleMania weekend, and like that huge moment in Elimination Chamber is not paid off on WrestleMania. I'm like, where the hell was Jade Cargill? And then I look it up, and then it's like, oh, that was like a 6-minute match on WrestleMania SmackDown. I'm like, oh, so that like that moment just was like nothing. Like I just feel like it like I feel whether or not that match is going to be good enough or deserves or whatever, that's going to be a different debate, and that's probably going to be something more that we discuss once the match actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
But like I feel like because of where and how they executed Jade's return, that told me that's going to be a Mania match for me, just as a 30-year wrestling fan nerd.
I just thought of the craziest thing, but to answer your question though, because what I was gonna say was, while I've advocated for that, I don't want to actually say that, because if I'm being honest, I'd love to see Naomi and Jade have a match on WrestleMania. I think it would be amazing to have these two African American women having a non-title storyline driven match on the biggest show of the year. That is progress that I didn't know we would see in our current day and age. So like, I want that to exist, and with that said, yeah, it's probably the women's IC title match ending up on the Raw after WrestleMania. That if something is getting the boot, it's probably that one. Just because that again, I don't see them doing 5 women's matches on WrestleMania. I just don't. I don't know what to replace it with though. I don't know. Maybe the card is just one match shorter. I don't know what I see as the replacement, just because honestly, even though we're still probably like a month away from WrestleMania.
30 days, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that doesn't feel very obvious for where things are going yet on the card, with a lot of the undercard stuff. There's a lot of question marks, because I don't think we got the New Day on here. And like,
we don't.
Huh?
We do not.
The New Day might belong on the show somewhere. Maybe fighting against Ray and Dragon Lee, or, some combination thereof.
We also don't have Finn Balor or Dominic Mysterio on the show.
And that could be a match in and of itself, depending on how things go in the next couple of weeks.
We have 3 Raws and 4 SmackDowns, I think, before Mania. So yeah, anytime in the next 3 weeks we could have that, because they kind of did the buddy bro hug thing on Monday Night Raw this week, and like, let's be fair, that could easily dissolve.
Yeah,
Finn could catch Dom talking to Liv about how I made this idiot believe that I was his buddy. Boom, there's a Mania match.
I'm not your buddy, guy.
Right, like yeah, it's one that you could very easily sneak in there.
Yep. Okay. What else?
So wait, let me throw just a crazy theory out there. What if you get Naomi and Bianca? I mean, you get Naomi and Jade fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Bianca's like, I'm not gonna deal with this, like blah blah blah. But then like her conscience gets the best of her, and she sees, Jade's like literally about to just like kill Naomi, and Bianca actually comes out and like, does the like saving thing, like, jumps between them. And that's the moment where she's like, I can't let you do this because like it wasn't Naomi, it was me. And oh my God, what? And so then you get like Jade maybe does something where it seems like is Bianca not even going to be in this match now later in the night, And then you get Bianca somehow making it to the ring. And that's like, it's the expectation that she wasn't even going to be there. And I think that ends the night with her turning heel. But what if the night ends with her, Naomi, and Jade all turning heel? What if all three of them were in on it together? Nobody ever attacked Jade. The whole thing was staged. And that's your new power trio in the women's division.
That actually would be pretty fun. I'm not going to lie.
I wouldn't hate it. It'd be better than the Death Riders.
My dog and your dog and one of our cats would be better than the Death Riders.
Nope. Nope. Spike was involved. Nope. No shot. I don't want any of those animals taking that bump.
Fair. That's fair.
Pass.
All right. Jim, I'm very intrigued by your topic because it said hot topic in it.
Hot takes, yeah. So
hot takes. Wait, no, I swear that said hot topic.
What was a hot takes topic?
Hot takes at top.
Oh, so this has nothing to do with Hot Topic, the store?
It does not.
Thank God.
I need you to understand that I've spent the entirety of today thinking that you had a WWE Hot Topic related topic.
I'm sorry I disappointed you.
I was going to say, where is this going?
I don't even know what that was like. What T-shirt was your? I don't know, but
highest grossing WWE T-shirt sold at Hot Topic.
Yes,
I guess
definitely Rhea Ripley.
How many of those really bad like patch version of the AEW shirts were left on the clearance racks at your local Hot Topics?
Yes,
all of them.
Yes, all of them.
I got my Wilson Gobernables T-shirt at Hot Topic.
I love that shirt, but I've also seen the one that looks like Kenny Omega, where it's like the badge, it says the Elite, it's the cleaner, and he's a cat.
Yeah,
that shirt sucked out loud.
All right, but so I think Mike, you may have sent the hot topics or the hot takes. Now Joe's got me thinking about Hot Topic.
Hot Pockets.
Fucking Hot Pockets. God damn, so fat.
You're welcome.
But it's from the Instagram account at Van Vliet WWE. Now, this is not Chris Van Vliet. This is a guy who's just trying to probably steal some follows by people thinking they're going to end up on Chris Van Vliet's page. But it's just a dude who makes content on Instagram. And Mike had sent a video of his with some WWE hot takes recently. So I dug back into his account a little bit further and found some more WWE hot takes. Some of those are more like mild or lukewarm takes, but nonetheless, we are here. So we're going to do an agree or disagree. You just guys individually agree or disagree with these WWE hot takes. We'll start with this one. AJ Styles' Def Rebel theme is actually pretty good, but not as good as his original.
Agree.
I can't think of his Def Rebel theme off the top of my head, but nothing touches his original.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it here.
Oh, it doesn't touch the original, but I don't hate.
It's one of the few Def Rebel themes that really wasn't that bad. I think it might be this one. Let me see here.
Don't want none.
Oh, yeah, this is the one. It's like his heel turn.
It's giving Hollywood Rock. No, I don't like it. I'm going to disagree with this take.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I'll say it's actually pretty good. That's what the guy said. He said pretty good. So he didn't put it on a huge pedestal. And also, I believe AJ had input on both him changing his music and what it ended up being. So if it's good enough for Uncle Alan, it's good enough for me.
They don't want any.
They do not want any. They do not want any.
So
Next one. Roman Reigns is in the WWE Mount Rushmore conversation.
Conversation, yes. I don't know that he's on it yet.
100% agree.
Yeah, I personally think he's probably already there, but if he's already there, it means he's in the conversation. Number 3, Logan Paul is good for the WWE business and is great in ring and character worker.
That's a loaded fucking question.
Yeah, it's a little convoluted.
Because I feel like there's parts of it that I agree with and parts of it that I don't agree with.
So I will agree with the whole thing, and I'll break it down. So number 1, break it down. Number 1, I know enough people at my job who are casual at best viewers of wrestling.
Okay.
I know people at my job who are not even casual viewers of wrestling. They don't watch any wrestling whatsoever. Who have come up to me and been like, "Oh man, Logan Paul wrestled last night, right?" He has, unfortunately, can't tell you why. I don't understand it. But he and his brother are household names. They are pop culture famous, and it does draw a certain amount of attention that wouldn't be there to the WWE every time he steps into the ring with them. So, that part is definitely true. In the ring, I think he's proven himself. I think he puts on – I don't want to see him wrestle every Monday night, but I think dusting him off once every 2 or 3 months, he puts on a good performance. He does a couple of stunts. His character, I mean, he might have one of the easiest jobs character-wise because all he has to do is basically be himself. All you got to do is hate him.
Yeah.
Like, he's never going to be a face. He's never going to be a good guy.
So, my thing is, the only part of it that I disagree is the character work part. Because I don't think he's working a character.
Correct.
I mean, he's just Logan Paul.
Yeah, there's no character there.
Right. He's Logan Paul. So he's not a great character with character work, but he's great in the ring. And I think, as much as he's a horrible human being, he's great for the business because people know who the fuck Logan Paul is.
Correct.
So I agree with 2/3 of it.
Correct. I'm in the same boat.
All right. Shawn Michaels is not the greatest WWE superstar of all time, but he is the best overall WWE performer of all time.
Wait, what?
Okay, so
he's not the best wrestler, but he's the best performer.
Right. He's not the best WWE superstar with all that entails, promo.
I agree.
Blah, blah, blah. But he is the best performer. So I'm thinking in-ring performer.
That's a tough one because Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time. I have a hard time not calling him just the overall best, but I'm willing to see your arguments. I mean, I'm willing to see at the same time, right? Just how we were talking about Roman Reigns and whether or not he belongs on the Mount Rushmore. I don't know that.
He was about to say something crazy about the Undertaker.
Sorry,
hold on.
Big Tank took him out, baby.
I'm back. I don't know that Shawn Michaels is on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
I do not have him on mine.
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't know anybody that has Shawn Michaels on their Mount Rushmore.
No, I agree. And the thing is, like I said, I can stand here with a straight face and tell you, my favorite wrestler when I was a kid, after the awkward Hulk Hogan years, was Shawn Michaels. And I can tell you that, even now I'm happy and I can watch his stuff and I'm happy to call him my favorite wrestler. of all time in a lot of ways. Like him and Bryan Danielson are like 1 and 2, and one guy taught the other. But right, like he doesn't make the Mount Rushmore conversations. He just doesn't.
Yeah. So like I think bell to bell, I'll agree. But he's not. But yeah, he's. So yeah, I agree with this. It's like bell to bell. You're hard pressed to find somebody better than Shawn Michaels. But yeah, I agree. He's not the best WWE superstar of all time. Dominic Mysterio will be a multi-time world champion.
I don't think Dominic Mysterio is going to be a one-time world champion. I think, look, Roddy Piper never won the world title for a reason, too. Like, Dominic Mysterio might get to the point where he wrestles for it, but no one's ever going to want to see this man win.
Dominic Mysterio will win the world title in 2025.
I think Dom could be a, steal a Money in the Bank win, steal a world title win, lose it in a week. He will win a world title. He will not win multiple. But also, I see what you're saying, Joe, and I agree with the logic. We also have to remember Roddy Piper wrestled in WWE in a time where you had like 2 hours of TV every month and one world title. Now you have 2 world titles and a shitload of TV time.
And he also wrestled in a time where there was 6 title changes his entire career.
Right. Yeah. So it's like the logic 100% agree with. But it's just different reality.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think he wins I think he could win multiple. I think he could.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them will be substantially long.
Yeah, I have like 10 more. So let's see if we can rapid fire these. Okay. Next one. We don't like the guy, but Hulk Hogan is on the WWE Mount Rushmore.
I think as more time passes, that becomes less and less definite. Like right now, yes, I do think he's still there. I think ask this question again in 10 years, I don't know.
I will say it depends on who you ask age-wise, because anybody over probably 35 is going to say yes. Anyone under the age of 35 is probably going to tell you who the fuck's Hulk Hogan.
And see, and this is what I mean, where I say like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when there's less people to answer it, who are the people that grew up watching Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, it's the reason Bruno Sammartino's on none of ours.
Right, exactly. Like, I think Hogan's time is quickly fading away, but not quick enough.
Exactly.
Finger guns.
Carmelo Hayes will never win a WWE World Championship.
I'm not yet convinced that Carmelo Hayes will ever win a match on SmackDown.
Strongly disagree.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a bumpy start, but yeah, I'll disagree. I think there's still the potential there. WrestleMania 40 is the greatest wrestling show of all time. I mean, I'm going to agree that it's not a fair vote for me, though. It'll never be a fair vote for me, though.
I will say that it's probably one of, if not the greatest WrestleManias, but I don't know that it's the greatest show of all time.
Yeah, that's basically how I feel too.
All right. Striking finishers are always better than grappling finishers.
No, disagree.
It's a hard disagree for me.
There's too many ankle locks. There's too many moves like that wrestlers who are actually able to get them over have gotten over to the point where they're more awesome than some striking finishers.
Kevin Owens is package pile driver greater than roaring elbow from anyone.
Yeah, bingo. I quit matches are the most predictable matches WWE has.
Most predictable?
Yeah.
Disagree. Look at Rock versus Mankind Royal Rumble with the I quit in the walkie talkie.
Yeah.
Scene.
Like
I'll disagree.
I don't know that they're the most predictable. They might be the dumbest, but they're not the most predictable.
Here's the thing. we were debating it on 3CT because I did this on 3CT as well, and we remembered that at Backlash France last year, Cody had AJ Styles handcuffed to the top rope and was about to hit him with the steps when AJ quit, so he didn't get fucking yoked in the face with steel steps. No, you could not have predicted that ending. I could have given you a chance to predict that match 100 times, and you wouldn't have come up with that. Like,
yeah, that's not the finish that you would have predicted.
No, and it's fucking brilliant because if you're AJ Styles, I'm fucking stuck. I'm gonna get hit in the face with these 400-pound steel steps that they used to tell us weighed 400 pounds. No, I'm done. Just get me out of this. I can fight another day. I can fight for the title another day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, most predictable. Disagree. I know Joe's answer to this already. Braun Strowman is in the WWE big guy GOAT conversation.
No, I hate that man. Fuck that guy.
See, yeah, I love you, Joe.
But okay, no, wait. Okay, wait. Yeah, no, fuck that guy. No, never mind. I was like maybe benefit of the doubt, but nah, fuck that guy.
Are we calling the Undertaker a big guy?
See, tune into 3 Count Thursday next week because we're gonna have that discussion. Because is Taker a big guy or is Taker a tall guy? Like big guy is very ambiguous.
Yeah, because if you're telling me it's tall guys, maybe he might be number 2 after the Undertaker, potentially number 3 after Kane.
Hey, I was gonna say Kane's probably up there. Diesel's probably up there.
If you're telling me fat guys, like, is he better than Yokozuna? Is he better than Bam Bam Bigelow? Is he better than?
I mean, I have a hard time seeing any. I mean, if we're saying GOAT, we're not talking Mount Rushmore because Braun may have a better case if you're talking big guy Mount Rushmores. But to me, the big guy GOAT is Andre the Giant.
I will take the fucking Yeti before I take Braun Strowman.
All right, you know what? Now you're letting him control your narrative. Good job, Joe. Way to fucking cave in, bud. You've now let Braun Strowman control your narrative. Hope you enjoy.
Fuck that guy.
You just let him control your narrative, man. Don't be mad at me.
Yeah, when they're saying greatest of all time, he's not the greatest tall guy. He's not the greatest big guy. He's not the greatest fat guy, even though he's not fat anymore.
Fat.
Like he's just so to me, it's an easy. He's just not.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest wrestler to ever win the tag team titles with a 10-year-old.
There you go.
And that's only because WWE doesn't count that one Jeffrey Epstein title reign.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're going for Braun Strowman Man of the Year over here.
All right. Goldust / Dustin Rhodes is the most underrated wrestler of all time. Gee, I wonder how Joe's going to answer this question.
No.
Yeah, I think he is probably a little bit underrated, in terms of his in-ring ability, but I don't think he is the most underrated.
I feel like, yeah, there's so many people that were so much more underrated than he was.
Like who?
Lance Storm was more underrated than Dustin Rhodes.
I mean, like, let's be fair. If you're actually dissecting the word underrated, like somebody like Test was probably more underrated than Dustin Reynolds. Like, Test is actually a really strong hand.
Mm-hmm. Matt Striker. And I mean Matt Striker. And I mean the one with the unibrow.
Stop.
Was more underrated than Dustin Rhodes.
Chill out, Braun Strowman.
BJ Whitmer was more underrated than Dustin Rhodes.
I'm literally about to change your name to I Love Braun Strowman.
So are we disagree on this one?
Yeah.
All right. Obafemi will never win a WWE World Championship.
Stop.
That's a hard no.
Yeah, that's a hard disagree, man. That's silly.
That man is gonna win a world title.
That man's gonna win multiple
world
champion. That dude's got money written all over him. Jordan Grace will main event a WrestleMania at some point in her career.
I'll go agree because I think she main events next year with Charlotte in New
Ooh.
Orleans.
I'm only going to disagree because at the moment I have a hard time seeing them letting women main event again because they haven't in like 5 years.
Yeah, because they had to get Roman Reigns in every main event humanly possible.
Here's the thing. I will agree because, again, WWE uses the words main event very loosely. If we're talking the closing match of a WrestleMania card, probably not. But when Jordan Grace wins a Royal Rumble and opens night one of WrestleMania against somebody, WWE will bill that as a main event.
I can't wait for her to close night one next year in New Orleans with Charlotte Flair.
I mean, if
Can't
she
wait.
does, cool.
Can't wait.
But I don't see it. But
Sure.
and then last one, AJ Lee will never return to the WWE.
Strongly agree.
Yeah, same.
Ooh. See, and
Definitely
we're-
not in an in-ring
I was
capacity.
gonna say if we're talking wrestling, agree. If we're talking anything, disagree because I do think she'll get a Hall of Fame.
I can see that.
Oh, okay. I didn't count Hall of Fame in my head.
Yeah,
I mean, Tony Khan does, so I should.
Here's the thing: it's been a year and a half since CM Punk's been back, and he's like casually mentioned his wife AJ like twice in a promo.
Mhm.
She ain't wrestling, bro.
No, she'd already been back.
She would have already been back if she was wrestling.
I agree.
All right. Joe, do you want to do your topic or do we want to wrestlers of the week and get out of here?
Yeah, let's wrestlers of the week and get out of here. I can save mine because I did think of one, and I think I might bring it next week. I could tease it here. You want to tease?
Oh, I love a good tease.
Yeah, you do. Diddly dee. So here's gonna be my topic next week.
I think we just violated Mike.
I was trying to figure out what tiddly dee hee hee that he fucking said.
Well,
was.
you got the hand motion. See, tiddly dee.
You know.
Nope.
So my topic we'll do next week. Do you want to see Jon Moxley return to WWE in the next 6 months?
Only if you bring Spike with him. Sorry.
All right, in the next 6 months? Cool. All right, that's a good topic. I like that.
I shouldn't have answered that. I should have saved my answer for next week. Somebody bring Spike. It's still stuck to his back, I think.
Spike.
I still think it's stuck to his spine.
Yeah, he might have no choice but to bring Spike.
Oh, that was fucking gnarly. That and the goddamn skewers. Fucking equally as gross to me. Those fucking skewer spots, man, fucking give me chills to my core.
Yep. All right, wrestlers of the week. Since we did not have a show last week, we'll nominate 3 each to try to get us up to our minimum number so we can actually have a correct vote at the end of the month. Joe, I'll let you go first.
I'm going to take Braun Breaker, retaining that IC title.
Jim.
I will take your new AEW International Champion, Kenny Omega.
We're going back to
Revolution.
the Revolutions. Hold on. I'm gonna go with the best promo in professional wrestling right now.
Yeah,
She retained her title. She retained her title at Revolution in a Hollywood ending match. Give me old timeless Tony Storm.
My God, you're a big bitch!
She nails that big bitch. Fucking love that.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Here they are, the harder they come.
I love the strap at the end too.
Oh, yeah, they got the strap on. She is so good. Like she is like the epitome of what makes professional wrestling fun. Like
I will say this. For the failure that Tony Khan is with Penta El Cero Miedo, absolute home run with Tony Storm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like my fear, like when she had lost to Mariah the first time, and then like they just went back to like regular Tony Storm. I was like, really? really, you're gonna kill your greatest thing, and then like the fucking swerve that she was timeless Tony Storm playing Tony Storm. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm like, I did not see that coming.
So good.
Like it's pure gold, man. It really is.
Joe, your second wrestler of the week.
You just name dropped him. I'm gonna take Penta.
He did something.
He sure did.
That's what I'm going to put in the little bio that you asked me to put next to everybody's name. He did something.
I will take. I'm going to take this one because I'm afraid I'm not going to get it. I'm not sure if you're on this thinking wavelength, Mike. But I'm going to take what I thought was one of the best WWE promos in a very, very long time. John Cena telling the ungrateful WWE universe what he really thought of him and why he did what he did. Give me John Cena from this past Monday on Raw.
He dumped all of us.
Fucking loved it.
Did you see? I don't remember if it was an article or if it was just a meme, but there was something, I might have sent it to you guys, where it was like WWE officially killed the cool heel in 2025.
I've seen some tweets or things about that,
because if they had changed his music and changed his look, you're inviting people to suddenly be like, oh, John Cena's cool now, let me cheer for him even though he's a bad guy. You don't change anything other than him being like, go fuck yourselves.
Right,
you
like
don't
I'm not going to run to the ring.
You don't change his music.
Right, like it's not a dog and pony show. I'm not going to run to the ring. I'm not going to throw my stuff to you.
Exactly.
But like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. It because like it's the reason why they didn't want to do the Roman turn or the Cena turn for so long.
Yeah.
The minute it happens, the people that you want to buy all the Cena merch, which is the kids, aka the parents. So instead of the parent buying a Cena t-shirt, the kids buy, each kid gets a shirt, a hat, a wristband, and a foam hand. The minute you turn him heel, yeah, dad's gonna buy a shirt, but he's gonna buy it on a 2 for $30 sale on the WWE shop. And the kids aren't gonna get the merch anymore because they don't like John Cena anymore. Now it's just, yeah, you're still gonna have the merch. Now dad's gonna buy it because it's the farewell merch.
Yep.
And it's pure fucking gold. Pure fucking gold.
My second nominee, he won the best steel cage match over the last 2 weeks. And he defeated AR Fox last night on Dynamite. Give me Will Cran Ocean Spray. Joe, your final selection.
So I'm gathering, since I saw 0 headlines about good old Cope winning the AEW World title, that John Moxley successfully defended the AEW World title twice in the last
he did.
time frame.
Yes, in the last 2 weeks he has defended it successfully twice.
Well, I can't not give him a spot here because for that,
You could have.
I mean,
you could have picked whoever won the main event of Speed.
Yeah, it would have been nice if I would have picked up John Moxley, but I thought Cope was gonna win and fucking Revolution on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
So yeah, him eating a couple of L's didn't help me either.
No.
That's what you get for living on the Cope.
We're living on the Cope.
My final is the new WWE Tag Team Champions on SmackDown, the Street Profits.
All right. So I'm going to use the sentimental close here with the final selection because no one has mentioned it yet on this show, including myself, and I kind of feel like an idiot for not talking about it. It was announced earlier this week that the in-ring career of arguably one of the greatest Ring of Honor competitors of all time was coming to an end tonight. Homicide retired at an Outlaw Wrestling show earlier this evening. Him and the former Bull Dempsey took on Alpha Jr. and Mike Homicide wins his final match. It's come out. He's talked about it. That basically he is retiring. I'm trying to get the official verbiage of it, but basically there's a cyst or something that is developed on his brain,
right? Yeah.
that has started to screw with his motor vehicle skills and his and all of his other skills. So he's talked to a doctor, and they've made it abundantly clear that it's best for him to hang up the boots. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say I watched a lot of Homicide in Ring of Honor.
Same.
So to see one of our guys, I guess is the way that I look at it. Unfortunately, have to hang the boots up. Everybody's kind of been going about putting stuff on Facebook, including and Instagram, including CM Punk, TNA, a couple of other. Eddie Kingston has obviously paid tribute to him a couple times. While we've been kind of leading into this match, obviously, hopefully everything goes well with Homicide as he transitions to the next part of his life, and maybe he can stay involved in the wrestling business in some way, shape, or form, maybe as a trainer or something like that, because a guy has got as much knowledge of the business as that guy does. It'd be a waste to see it unfortunately end like this. So my final wrestler of the wrestlers of the week for this week will be the Notorious 187 Homicide, and that is the wrestlers of the week. Joe, do you have anything that you want to plug before you leave and or fall asleep?
It's amazing that I've stayed awake this long. Shout out to my bed. I'm about to be in you. Fuck Braun Strowman. Check out the Joe Movie podcast if you want to hear.
Featuring Braun Strowman.
Never. If you want to hear me and another person named Joe talk about movies, because that's always fun.
I can't wait for Braun Strowman to be in a movie that you fucking watch and you don't know that he's in it until you've actually sat down to watch it, because I will make sure that you know about it every day for the rest of your life.
First of all, it's been a rough time for wrestlers in movies. Poor Seth Rollins got cut out of the new Captain America.
Yeah, it's because his Titantron didn't match the suit he was wearing on.
So you're telling me the movie that he went to film that I didn't get to sing along to his song last year at fucking Raw in Hershey, and he got cut out of the movie?
Yep.
Motherfucker. God, 2025 can just fucking eat one, man.
Oh, by the way, he has actually been involved in 2 movies.
Oh, what movies?
The movie Holmes and Watson, that was played by Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Okay.
And a movie called 3 Count. And it doesn't have anything about 3 Count, but yeah. So make sure you avoid watching Holmes and Watson with John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell.
Heard.
Yeah, will do. You can get me at Big Jim Sports at the link tree on Twitter and on Blue Sky. That'll take you to all my podcast projects. Huddle Up is in off-season mode. We'll probably get some recordings at some point. But the last fucking month or so has been insane. So we're just going to chill on that and just be calm over there. Haven't done a new discussion with nobody in a long time. Again, life's been insane. But 3 Count Thursday, we were live tonight. We actually went a little bit long. Got a heated discussion about AEW between Ryan and Tim. We have a fun Tuesday show coming up this week. So make sure you check both of those out. 3 Count Thursday on all podcast platforms.
Kind of mad you let me poke the bear a little bit more.
Well, we were running out of time. We ran out of time.
Yeah. You can follow the show at Take the Number 3 Wrestling. You can follow me at They Call Me Burn. You can listen to me talk about South Florida baseball, sunny days, and double plays, a Palm Beach baseball podcast. Our season kicks off this Sunday. Hope to get an episode up. Kind of weird because my work schedule's a little discombobulated this weekend. Yeah, that's all I got. Bye, guys. We'll see you next week where we talk more about WrestleMania and whatever the hell else we come up with. Until then, for Jim and Joe, I'm Mike. We'll see you next week on the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast.